Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another Sunday with Green Party Tea. And we are going to have a really great show today. Hopefully, we have a lot more people coming in because I find the conversation at hand very, very important now that we are seeing so many things happening around us, and people really, really need to take certain things seriously. But I do want to just add a little note before we get started that the Green Party is having their annual national meeting. It's going to be this week. Coming up from Thursday to Sunday. You can register online at gp.org/ANM. That's A as in Alpha, N as in November, M as in Mike. And we would love to see you there. We're going to have a couple of our Green Party members that you have seen online talking about different topics. We're going to have interviews with our candidates from the state, local, and national levels. So we're going to have a Green Congressional coordinated campaign committee. Goodness gracious, I can't get all my C's together. The Green Congressional Campaign Committee, they will be having a spotlight on Wednesday to kind of begin going into our annual meeting period. And then on Thursday is our kickoff night. And our kickoff night will include interviews with our local and state candidates, where the GCCC will have our national federal candidates. So we do have two of these committees. So a lot of people get them mixed up, and I'm kind of with both of them, so I can get where all the seeds get mixed up. So the Green Congressional Campaign Committee has the national candidates, so that's anybody running for federal office. And then you have the Coordinating Campaign Committee, and the Coordinating Campaign Committee handles our local offices, which would be state, local, like governor or city council, things like that. There are various things that both of these committees do. They can help fundraise, they can help provide promotions, they can offer different things. And some of these spotlights and interviews are some of the things that these campaigns do in order to, well, these committees do, in order to make sure that our Green Party candidates are getting the much needed press that they deserve, because we all know that the Green Party does not go away in between the 4-year elections. We just get unnoticed by the popular media, or mainstream media, as we like to call it nowadays. So we do have the alternative, where we have a quote unquote green media. The Green Party does have their own media team, and we also do have members from different states and different organizations and committees within the Green Party who actually do media, like myself doing Green Party Tea. And then we have the Illinois Green Party. They have a green stream, and if you have not been there, it has Edie, who is actually running for Lieutenant Governor of Illinois. Wonderful, wonderful. And Scott. So they are on Wednesdays at, I believe it's 1 p.m. No, I'm sorry, not 1 p.m. Wednesdays is at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then they're on at 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays. Wednesday usually do an interview, and on Saturday they kind of do like a news wrap up. It's really good. So if you haven't checked it out, check out the Illinois Green Party Green Stream. And then we have other people who are just out there giving news. They are green leaning, in like Savvy Savs, for instance, and we have Brianna Joy Gray. So there are a lot of people that you can follow to get more information about Green Party candidates that are out there, such as Butch Ware, who's running for governor of California, and we have Justin Flip. We have so many candidates that are running, and we're so proud of them because they are breaking that mold of duopoly, that people can actually see and feel and know that the candidates that they are voting for are actually running for their best interest at heart. So it's absolutely amazing to see those things. So again, if you have not, please make sure you log on to your interwebs, wherever you may reach them at, and go to gp.org/ANM. A as in Alpha, N as in November, M as in Mike, and go ahead and register for that. So that being said, that's not all that's there. I do want to point that out as well. There are going to be workshops that are going to be had. There are going to be a state of the party, so we'll get to know what's going on with the party, like how many people we have in office currently, what's going on with ballot access, things that are going on with the party that you're not going to see online a lot of places, because again, we don't get that mainstream media coverage. So if you're interested in knowing about the Green Party, you want to get to know more about how to get involved with the Green Party in your state or your local area, if you have a chapter in your area, or if you're interested in starting up a chapter in your area, or things like that, please, please, please come on down to our Green Party annual national meeting so you can get some more of that information. Myself and Surviving Daily will be doing a workshop. And one of those workshops is on social media. So we'll be doing social media workshop, and we'll be talking about how to do things on social media for other people who want to broaden their horizons and do things on social media with their different state campaigns or different things like that, to show them how to do certain things. So come on over and see how we do those things, because Surviving Daily is oh so amazing at those things, and he's gonna have that together so everybody's going to be able to see that. And then we'll also have, myself there giving information as well. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. So I hope you all can come out and witness this greatness that is the Green Party. Speaking of witnessing the greatness of the Green Party, I did want to let you all know how certain things are going at this point in time. I had a conversation with my son, and he's also a Green Party member. And we were talking about the impact of the youth on the politics of the world. And he was saying, he's a musician and he's also an actor, and he's going to college, UNC Pembroke. Woohoo! That's my alma mater, so I'm really happy he's going there. But he's going to UNC Pembroke in the fall, and he'll be studying theater. And one of the things he said is he's focusing on his mental health. And I acknowledge with him that that is very important to do, and that the youth telling us that we need to give them time, understanding, and grace when they're trying to focus on their mental health, when they're going through such things, is what we need to hear from them. Because if they don't talk to us, we don't necessarily know what it is that they are going to need from us. And in 20, 30, 40 years, they're going to be in these seats of office, and they're going to be the ones that are going to have to make things shake the way that they want them to shake. So if they are doing things where they will have to dismantle what was done before them versus putting their voice out there now, then it makes it harder for them. So it was to say, don't disengage, prioritize your mental health, but also understand that just being alive is political. Everything that we do is political. So we can't turn our eye, we can't close our ears. We have to stay focused on what's going on. And when I mean stay focused on what's going on, it doesn't mean that you have to drown yourself into it all the time. However, you can't just dismiss it either, because it is going to affect you one way or another. And one of the things that we talked about was, excuse me, one of the things that we talked about was mental health in a way that he hadn't really processed it before. And the more we talked about it, the more he kind of understood. So I was talking to him about our current Department of Health and Human Services director, RFK Jr. And I was saying, like, we literally have a guy that ate worms to debate the other presidents over our health at this point in time, determining what vaccines we take. And he's a grown man. He made those decisions. So, that's literally the reality of what we're dealing with at this point in time. Somebody who said, people with ADHD need to go on a work farm or things like that. So it's kind of like, are we going to let this just go to the side, or are we going to actually say, okay, we have to deal with what we see? And I said, everything is directly politically involved. I talked to him about how they're introducing bills to put people into psychiatric institutions. And it's not saying that being in a psychiatric institution is a bad thing, but you have to understand the ugly laws and the things that happen prior to getting to this point for you to actually be able to understand why we're here. So in talking to him about the ugly laws where disabled people couldn't be out in the public, he kind of understood, it's a way to shun people away that people don't want to see anything about. And it gave us more of an opportunity to go into a conversation. Oh, thanks so much, Anthony. Nice to see you. Hi. So it gave us the opportunity to talk about mental health in a way that he could see it matters in who you vote for, because they're going to have a direct impact on who and how you're going to be able to do things. Because if they decide, okay, well, if everybody that has glasses, because we talked about disability before, and like I said, needing glasses is a form of a disability, because I literally cannot see by myself. I need aids to see. That's a form of disability. So if they said everybody with glasses now has to do this one thing just because you wear glasses, that's going to affect people. They might say, okay, it's because your eyesight is so poor, you deserve only to do these certain things. And it goes into that realm of, I don't want to say the word because I don't know if it's TikTok friendly, but I'm going to say it, eugenics. So hope this live doesn't get taken down, but I am just saying it. So it goes into that realm where people think you could just take out things and put all the other stuff to the side where it doesn't get seen. But these are people. They actually live their life. And you have to think about what they want, what they need, what they must have. And in doing so, it gives them the ability to make decisions for themselves. It's like saying people that have Down syndrome shouldn't have children, or saying people that have dwarfism shouldn't have children. It is a lot. And we definitely want to, congratulations for reaching our level 5. Thank you so much, Anthony. So, yay! It does give you a lot of context when you're talking to the youth about what they need as somebody who is in the political realm. We need those voices to be heard. So I told him the things that you're seeing right now, yes, they affect you mentally, but that doesn't mean you can mentally clock out. And he understood that. He's always talked about what's going on in Gaza, what's going on in Palestine, basically. Sudan, Congo, we've talked about these things for years. I don't know why it's filtering that, but I'm going to go ahead. It might, there it goes. ADHD. Yes, we talked about ADHD too because of the worker farm that they were talking about, people putting people with ADHD on. So we did talk about ADHD, but seeing these things all around the world and then the things that are happening here at home with the cops daily, with the homeless population, with everything that's going on, it does affect you mentally. So your mental health is political. We are seeing scenes of starvation, and the way that this is set up is so sad, because it's an intentional starvation and it can be stopped, but the actors, the state leaders, and all these people, they are deliberately not doing what they should be doing to stop this. And this is not just happening in Palestine, by the way. This is also happening in Sudan. They're going through a starvation as well. They're going through stages of famine as well. I believe that Gaza is in stage 5 of famine, but Sudan, I'm not sure what stage they are in, but they also have an outbreak of cholera where they are. So we're seeing all these peace treaties come about, and I'm going to say peace treaties with quotations because we do know that peace treaties are not what they seem. And Big H is trying to do the best that they can for their people. We know that, but we also know we've seen the bad actors in this say, okay, we're going to have this happen if this happens. And then they pull back on it, such as you're letting people go after you get, people from Big H, and then you rearrest them for no reason. Or you let 100 people go and then you arrest 500 people in the West Bank. It was great seeing you too, Anthony. Thank you so much. Wishing you the best on your campaign in Florida. Woo! So we see what's going on, and the thing with Palestine is they opened it up to the world to see. They really opened it up to the world to see what was going on. We got to see from the beginning until right now, literal babies weighing less than they weighed when they were born, not being able to take their first steps because they've perished from starvation. We're seeing that in real time right now, real time in Gaza. But we're not seeing it in other places because they don't even have the access to the internet to be able to show us what's going on. The brutality is just that fierce. And we also know that some of it is just, oh, that's in Africa. We're not going to pay attention to it because that's what they always do. But what they really show us is that Africa is always this way. They never show us the other side. Just like they always told us that Palestine was this way, but they never gave us the truth. It's like when children are educated that Palestine doesn't exist, you're like, but it does exist. So what are we debating here? You can't debate the existence of a place when it is there. It's literally been there more than the 75 years of Israel. So what are we talking about? So these peace treaties that they're doing, like the one that they had in Congo, what they're trying to do, they're not peace treaties. They are literally just opening up to foreign countries to come in and take the resources. That is all. There is no stoppage of the brutality that the people are facing. There is no stoppage of the amount of times people, women, children, men, elderly, everyone has had to suffer from relocation and starvation, all types of unimaginable crimes that are humiliating to anyone, but yet they're still having to go through it. So we see that what we have to do is prioritize our mental health, yes, because if we're not healthy enough to be one with ourselves, we're not going to be healthy enough to be out there in the world. But we also have to know that our mental health is always going to come at a cost if we don't get involved, because everything that happens to somebody else is subject to happen to you. So you want to see for yourself, you have to give it in order for other people to understand this is what we need to see. So when we talk about it in the terms of the Green Party, We hear people saying, oh, it's this type of party, it's that type of party. We need to get more education on the Green Party out there. And I wholeheartedly agree. The thing is, we need to get more information about the Green Party out there. So having these different forms of committees and media and platforms that we do have, we're trying our best to continue to get that Green Party news out there. But then you see the people like AOC, Cory Booker, Nancy Pelosi, they're all saying bad, bad, bad. This starvation is bad, bad, bad. They need aid, they need food. But then they vote to give more aid to the people that are causing this starvation. So you have to wonder, what are you really doing at this point? It's just like you are protecting the oppressor and then saying it's bad that they're oppressing people at the same time. So you have to kind of just sit back in it and say, well, what can I do? And my son was really getting to that point, and I saw it in his eyes. He kind of felt like, I'm just a teenager, just getting out of college, going to high school. What can I do? And I told him, your voice is the most important thing. No matter how you use it, whether it be song, acting, just making a video, whatever the means that you can, your voice can have an impact. And he looked at me and he was kind of asking me to go further with it. And I told him, he's made an album already that donates some of the funding to the different organizations from Palestine and Sudan and Congo and Haiti and things. So that was a part of his impact. That was his voice. But it doesn't have to just be limited to that. Sharing posts, liking posts, watching lives such as the one that we are in right now, following people that are talking about it is also a way to stay engaged. So we also talked about different things that he would see going off to college and how it would affect them. And he would start talking about, what if my roommate, likes this and things like that. And I was like, well, we've talked about meeting people that don't share your same ideas and how they might come across with you. And we've gotten to the point, because even in high school, you have to deal with people who might not share your same ideologies. So it was kind of like, it's just on a bigger scale here, especially since she'll be, essentially on campus, but I'm not that far away from them, so I'll be able to still see my baby, thankfully. And it's kind of scary to have him going off into the big old world, but at the same time, as a mom, I do think about his mental health, and I think about what he's going to be doing. And the challenges that he's going to be facing. And then I think about how that fear is with me, but the fear of not having food for a starving baby is with someone else. The fear of trying to get aid and coming back alive to tell the story is with someone else. I think about the resource-rich nations being some of the poorest because their resources are being stolen. And we get told a story that is not correct. I was writing about it in a post that I had, and I was saying that we have to basically rewrite history. We have to rewrite history in terms of telling the truth. And when we rewrite history in terms of telling the truth, then we need to write the present with justice in mind. Because justice is deserved for so many people. And not only that, we also have to write our future that looks inclusive. Because if we don't do that, we are opening ourselves up to continuing this path. And somebody posted that when people don't learn from the past, they're doomed to repeat the same mistakes. They also said when people try to erase the past, that's when it's not a mistake, it's something they wanted to do. And we see that happening right now with colonization. We're literally witnessing colonization right now. So if you're thinking about what you would have done in the Americas or anywhere else that has been colonized, if you think about what you would have done then, if you know what you know right now, then that should be what you're doing right now. If you knew exactly at this moment, you could go back in time before colonization started and you could do something about it, what would you be doing? And a lot of people seem not to kind of get that point, but it's okay. Because some people are not ready, but you have to get ready eventually because everything that happens will happen to you. So how does the Green Party fit into all of this? It is not enough to say that we're the duopoly opposite. It is not enough to say that because anybody could say we're the duopoly opposite. And basically they would be kind of right. They're not the Democrats and Republicans. Hi, Crook Brand Betty. Thank you for coming. We have to give people a different scope of what that looks like. It's kind of like when people say, oh, I'm a part of this, I don't use religion, but I'm a part of this fraternity and sorority. And I'm saying that because I went to an event this weekend. I know, I'm so glad you got to make it here. It's so awesome. So it's kind of like a fraternity or sorority that, you could be in, but at the same time, there's something else that's happening that's stopping you from being there. So we go around with this, like, that they're fraternities and sororities. You know exactly what they are, but at the same time, they have different values and they different belief systems and they do different types of community service, or they did have, different things that they do. Some of them there's band fraternities, sororities, there's, all types of different things. So I am doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. We're talking about mental health, so I really hope that you are doing well in that area. Because goodness gracious, if it hasn't been a week for anybody else, it's definitely been a week for us all. So I really hope you are doing well. When we're talking about the way that it looks different for everybody, yes. If we say that we are the duopoly opposition, we could technically be correct. But we don't want to just say that as the Green Party. We do need to educate and let people know what we're about. And a lot of that really does start with talking to people. And I tell people, if you can't talk to somebody that you know, because there's no one around you think knows about the Green Party, start at gp.org. That is Green Party, gp.org. That is the first place to start. When you start at gp.org, there are so many things in there that you'll be able to see that can give you the information that you need to know whether or not you want to get engaged or not. And I tell people all the time when I'm talking to people about the Green Party, I'm giving them information about the Green Party. I tell them the Green Party may not be the right fit for you. There are other parties out there. We call them third parties for a reason. We're not the only third party. I don't want anybody to go into a space that they don't feel belongs and fits in what they need. So on the gp.org website, they do have, and I'm going to forget the name, but it's like a Venn diagram. I think that's the name of it. Don't quote me, okay? So it has the Democrats, the Republicans, the Libertarians, and the Green Party. So, and in that, it has all the four circles, but it has all the spaces that we are the same and the spaces that we differ. I like to point that out a lot to people as my starter go-to kit, because what I say is, I don't want to force you anywhere. I'm going to give you these little details right up front. And these little details will give you the area to see, okay, I'm here. I think that's right. I think that's correct. I like that idea. I like this. I don't like that. And where you see that you aligned yourself with a lot more is where you're going to tend to go. And that is an ideology. That is where you can start from, because there's so much more than just saying, oh, I believe that, we should have free healthcare, or I believe that misinformation should be a choice between a woman and her doctor. I believe that, the the system, because we are the Green Party, so we can't forget the ecological system, because that's a part of the social ecology part of it, so socialist ecology part of it. So we can't forget that, because we do want to keep things green, as we say, but you have to see those aspects in it. And then when you say, okay, I think I'm leaning this way, if that's the way you want to lean, I'm not going to tell anybody they're wrong. And I say that because you're going to fight for what you believe. And that's fine. I don't want you fighting against me with what I believe to get your beliefs to match. So if you're a true diehard, I rock with the duopoly type of person, I don't think that there is a way that we can hold hands, and it's not technically kumbaya, but I'm going to say kumbaya. We can't do that, because there is a red line at some point. And when you get to that red line and you decide to cross it, then we're no longer politically aligned. We're different now. We have separated. So I'm not going to fight you and say, hey, this is how I believe. Oh, welcome in. Me and my friends, welcome in. So when we're talking about that, I always just like to start there. Let's get the basics out of the way. Do you have these beliefs? And if you do, great. Now let's talk a little bit further. So I like to talk about the kind of foundations of the Green Party. So we start with the 4 pillars and the 10 key values. We've had different shows and we talked about the 4 pillars and the 10 key values. So I'll go over those in another show again, but I'm just telling you the educational rundown of what I like to do and how I go about things. So when I'm talking to someone, after going through, okay, is the Green Party somewhere you're leaning? Great. Let's talk about the 4 pillars and the 10 key values. So when we get to those 4 pillars and the 10 key values, if you're still with me, I love it. I'm like, great, I'm excited. Now we just have to determine your level of commitment to where you want to go, because everybody is not a try hard, as my kids say in the video game world. You're a try hard, you're doing this, you're doing that. So, everybody doesn't want to be as involved, like taking office in a local chapter, doing bylaws. We do have bylaws. We have so many committees. We have some caucuses. We have the National Black Caucus, the Lavender Caucus, the Women's Caucus. There are so many different caucuses that we have. We're working on a Arab and Muslim American caucus. So we're working on that at the national level, and we are hoping to be able to have it very soon. So it is wonderful that we have all these caucuses, and then we have our committees where we're doing different things. Like I was talking about the GCCC and the CCCC earlier, because we have many different things. One of our primary committees that, is one of the most beneficial in my mind is the Ballot Access Committee. And I'll say that because in North Carolina, we retain ballot access due to us being able to have the ballot access in 35 states at the last election cycle. So ballot access does mean a lot. And we pour a lot into that because we know it means a lot. If you've ever had to petition, you would know how much time and effort it takes. And so that's what I mean by level of commitment. If we're starting with, would you go out and ask people to petition to have the Green Party be a party on the ballot line come election time? You have to petition for those things. And some states is monetary. You have to raise funds. Are you a great fundraiser? Some places it's the petitions where you have to literally go out and get information from people. So when we're talking about ballot access, is that something you would want to do? Is that something you're good at? There are people out there that are good at media. We have a great media team or media committee. And they put different things out. We have press releases, social media. We're on all the social medias. So we do have those things that are there for us and available for us. And we use those things as much as possible. So it just depends on your level of involvement. You don't even have to be involved at the national level. There's your state level, and then there's local chapters so that you can talk about things that are locally affecting you and commune with people in your area. I am a part of the Triangle chapter in North Carolina, and we focus on things that happen around the Triangle area. So that means if we are having an issue, and Triangle includes our state capital, so it is really. So if we're having issues and we have to go to the city council meeting of another county or a city or something like that, we have that local chapter that could say, hey, we'll meet up with you and we will, we ride at dawn for the Green Party chapter, and we do those kinds of things. Is that something you're willing to do? Or are you just willing to vote and share a post or a meme or come in here like my dear friends and say, hey, I'm going to listen to you drivel on for a couple of minutes because I love you enough to do so? Is that something you can do? When we have those types of things, that's just your level of commitment. But it doesn't say that you're any better or worse than any other Green Party member. Being a Green Party member literally means I want to save lives, I want to save the planet. And I want people to be able to people. You people your way, I'm a people my way. Because whatever you do doesn't make me not do. It's people can be people. It's about rights and dignity and access and fulfilling promises. So your level of commitment can just be a vote, or your level of commitment can be a steering committee member for the national, which is something I probably would not want to do. I'm not going to say never. I won't say never on that. I have been looking and watching, but I'm going to say I am a few years baby to want to do something as serious as the steering committee of the National Party. I even don't want to be one of the co-chairs of the state party because I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do it. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to what I know. So I've heard that before, and it's great, but that to me is just like, I don't know if I'm ready. I think that I have a lot more Green Party energy in other ways right now to give towards different things. And right now we've just established our state Black Caucus, and I'm the co-chair of one of the co-chairs of that. So I'm like, my energy is diverted there, and I'm on a lot of committees on different levels, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to stretch myself too thin, but in the process, it's a learning thing for me. It's also educational. So getting on committees is educational as well. You can do it at the local, state, and national level. So I could tell you, when I became a national delegate for my state Green Party, I got a really, really good um, introduction into the inner workings of the Green Party on a national scale. And mind you, before I was in the Green Party, I was a Democrat. So I used to politics, been in politics all my life. So I was used to it, but it's kind. There might be things that are happening, but for the most part, there is a pressure release valve. You know, things can stir up because people will have their own opinions. It's not like we're robots and we don't have our own opinions. We march to the green beat. We don't do that, okay? We're not all going out there and hugging trees, as some people like to say, because we're the Green Party. We're not all doing that. You know, we are out there with boots on the ground, you know, marching and doing different things, but we're also out there doing community service, mutual aid. We are being there for our community, and we are in elected positions. People are passionate, and that can clash, but it's better than apathy. Yes, that is absolutely, absolutely it. But there's always that pressure valve. It's like, okay, things are coming to this point, and I like the word steering committee. Well, the term steering committee, because that's generally what happens. It's not that they are these big overlords that tell everybody what to do. They steer us into a cohesive direction. And that cohesive direction is not to say you have to do this. It is saying, let's be knowledgeable about what we're doing. Let's have the dialogue based on our bylaws, our four pillars, and the 10 key values, what our platform looks like. Let's keep things based in that. And sometimes we have to look things up. I have seen some of the most knowledgeable, and I'm talking about probably there since the inception of the Green Party. They have to go back into their bags and they have to go redo things. And that's why we have those bylaws amendments and things like that. We have to keep those things going because things change over time. At the same time, we need people to steer what's going on. Kroger Brand says, yep, just steer the boat on course and flow with the waves. Absolutely. That's really what it is, because we don't want people to fall in line. We want people to feel like not even feel like, we want people to be a part of the process. We want people to know that the beliefs that they have in the people that they're voting for are going to be what they vote for. So, you know how you think that, oh, I'm voting red or I'm voting blue and I'm going to get what I want. And then you don't get what you want, but you still vote for them because you're like, oh, they're better than the other ones. I don't have to compromise my vote when I vote green because I know where they're coming from and they're not going to deviate on that. So they're going with the 4 pillars and the 10 key values. That's why I like to steer people there after knowing that they are leaning green, because those things are going to stay the same no matter what. Like I said, bylaws change. Amendments have to happen. We have to relook at things. But if we're going by the 4 pillars and the 10 key values, that's where we stand. If they say you stand on your 10 toes, that's the 10 key values. We stand on those. 10 toes down, 10 values down. We're going to stand on those no matter what. So when we get in office, if we said we're not going to vote for this no matter what, that's what we're going to do. Kroger Brand Betty says the GP is morally and ideologically consistent because it's based on values, not propaganda and shock value. Absolutely. And it's not a memeified party. We're not looking for the next meme or gotcha moment to do anything. We don't have to do that. We can literally just go off of the basic things that we have, again, those 4 pillars and 10 key values, and just be. Like, oh my gosh, when Nancy Pelosi, she's like the queen. she is the queen of a memification moment, or a gotcha moment, or a oh ah moment. That kneeling that she did in the kente cloth, I was like, oh, I was horrified. I was literally horrified. I was like, ooh, that's bad. And then you turn around and you vote for things that are not in the best interest in the community that you were kneeling for. Goodness gracious. And then when they were talking about the whole TikTok ban, and she said a whole bunch of mess, but in the end she said tic tac toe, and we were like, really? Is this what we're doing? We're becoming memes, and we're becoming little sound bites for social media instead of actually being the people that we put in office to do what we need to get done. Like, it shouldn't be that way. I voted for you to do the best for me, my community, the values that I have. I didn't vote for you to make this grand stand and then not really do anything with it. So those are the types of things that, oh goodness, we just have to stop. And if nobody else stops it, I really hope California will rid us of that woman. And I'm not saying that like in any threatening way. Please don't take it that kind of way, because it's not. I'm just saying, please don't vote for her. Please vote her out. I am pretty sure there is somebody that is running against her that cannot be worse than her. And the Democrats and Republicans are the same party. So please don't say, well, I don't want to vote for a Republican. They can't be worse than she is. She is absolutely the worst. So please, California, do your big one and vote her out. Okay? America will thank you. That is what, ooh, goodness gracious. Everybody has their eyes on California right now, with Gavin Newsom vetoing the reparations. But Butch Ware is there, in California, running for governor. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're wanting an actual governor that will govern with, humanity in mind, Butch Ware is your choice. Okay? He's that Green Party choice that you can have. So that's where I kind of go when I'm talking about the education of what's going on with the Green Party, to start people off with, because I don't like to overwhelm people with stuff. And I can tell you, when I got on the national level, I was flooded. I had to get a separate email address and was flooded with different things that I had not considered in the realm of political thinking. But I like some of the conversations. I just can't read everything, because it's not things that I would have to vote on or things like I have to keep up with that. I have no choice. That is literally why I'm there. I am a delegate, state of North Carolina. So anything voting wise, I have to, let my state know about what's going on. There will be a discussion about it. We're voting. Okay. But other than that, we have discussions about what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on in Gaza. We have discussions about trans rights, and we have discussions about mental health, disability. We have all types of discussions. We have discussions about what it is to be a committee, what it is to be a caucus. There are all types of discussions that happen, and it's good to see the inner chambers at work. I like it, but at the same time, I salute those who have been in the positions for as long as they have. And I also understand the youth when they say, okay, we want to do this. So if you don't know, we do have a Yes Caucus. It's the Young Eco-Socialists. So I said Socialist but it's the Young Eco-Socialists, which my son is also a part of. So they are between, I believe, the ages of 16 and 35, if I'm not mistaken. And I keep changing the ages on that, and that's my fault. But we do have a youth caucus, Young Eco Socialist Caucus, and they're pretty busy. If you have not actually followed the Yes Caucus, you really should. It is literally yes, like the word yes, and usually has caucus around it. You read my mind. I was just thinking it was the ages. Yeah, I had to think about it sometimes, but yeah, at one point in time I was in there, but I just missed out on it. So we do have a very active Yes Caucus, and I like them. I was one of them, so I can't say that in a bad way, but I do like them. Their spirit, their uprising, they're like, yeah, we're ready, let's go, let's go. And I was just like, okay, I can take it, I can take it. It's like running for the first time with an Olympic athlete. That's going to kind of like, I feel it's like when you have going running for the first time when you hadn't worked out in 5 years. I'll say it like that. Going running for the first time with an Olympic athlete when you hadn't worked out in 5 years. That's what it's like. So it's not like you don't know what you're doing or anything like that. It's just like your body got to get adjusted to it and used to it and things like that. Because you're like, okay, breathe in your nose, out your mouth. Got to move my arms. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. And then you get your stride. But it's kind of like that. They're out of there. They are gone with it, and they are like, we can do. So, and they pull no punches on, and where they're like, no, we're gonna go this way, and I love it. They stand 10 toes down on our 10 key values and our 4 pillars, just like everyone else does. But it is the vigor, it is the veracity, it is the force of the youth that you know is coming behind you, and you just have to applaud them. You have to say, yes, you go. Even though I haven't worked out in 5 years and now I'm about to sit up here and run with this Olympic athlete, I know I'm passing the torch to somebody that is going to make a difference. So you are going to run your hardest and then pass that torch. And that's basically what it's like with the youth caucus. But they're running. Believe me, they're running. And they're not slowing down to let you catch up. They are running. And I love it. So there are places for everyone in the Green Party, whether that be at your local level, state level, national level. There's a place for everyone, and everyone has a place. I always say it like that. You will find your people. I found my people. I found them online. We're in different states. We're in my state. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere. But I found my people. And I love my people. We're here for a long time, not just a good time. Okay? And that's what it's about. Finding your people. When you find your people, you have more of a reason to stay dedicated to the cause. You have more of a reason to continue doing what you're doing day in and day out, because it makes a difference. You're not just being here, you're actually doing what you set out to do, whatever your level of commitment was. So if you got into the Green Party because you wanted to voice your opinions about mental health, you will find that person, you will find that place, you will find that very word, algorithm, anything that you could take it to, because there's somebody that's going to be just as invigorated about it as you are. We have doctors, lawyers, psychiatrists, we have people that are homeless and know more about anything that I know more about. I say, please don't look down on homeless people, because you do not know them. You have not had a word to talk to them, and I guarantee you a lot, if not most of them, are a lot smarter than you think. And they are very aware of what's going on. And some people, believe it or not, actually choose to be homeless. They would rather do that than pay and go into the systems that we have. So when people look down on homeless people, then pay and go into the systems that we have. So when people look down on homeless people, don't realize that homeless people actually look down on you. You wouldn't think it, but in reality, homeless people, they can look down on us, and they have every right to. Taking up space and places that we shouldn't be, being on indigenous lands that we shouldn't be, paying taxes into a system we don't want to pay taxes into because they're not doing anything for us. So don't pity the homeless. Help them, but don't pity them, because some of them pity you. Some of them are just like, goodness gracious, you got to pay $3,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment, and it's crappy. And here I am, living life on the land, foraging, doing whatever I have to do. I'm free. So one of my things is a love for homeless people. If you didn't know that, homeless, disability, youth, those are my things. So I always tell people, don't judge a homeless book by its cover. You'll never know. So I am going to sign off for this evening, but I'm going to leave you all with the last things that I talked to my son about, because that's what we started on. We started on mental health and the Green Party and how that all works. And with my son going off to college and having to, think about starting a Green Party chapter at his school and things like that, he wanted to make sure that he could still remain himself in the face of all the things that were going on. And I told him the best way to do that is to just be yourself, because yourself won't allow you to not be involved, to just sit back and not do anything. Your being yourself is how you discovered where you're at right now. So again, it doesn't matter what your level of commitment is, but doing something is better than doing nothing. Everybody has to take a break at some point in time, but you still continue on because we know that it's worth continuing for. So with it worth being continued for, I wish the best for everyone that has came to the live today. Thank you so very much for staying with me. You guys are so awesome. And I will see you all Thursday night and Thursday afternoon, really. I will see you all starting Thursday. Wednesday with our Green Congressional Campaign Committee, and then on Thursday kicking off the Green Party Annual National Meeting, gp.org/A&M, and we will be having our state and local candidate interview spotlight. So thank you all so very much for being here. Y'all have a great evening. I will see you back next Sunday. Maybe, because I might be watching the state of the party, and if I am, I might go live with it. Ooh, bye. I'm trying.